Morning, everybody. I'm super excited to welcome May Zhou to our podcast today. May, welcome.
Thank you, Scott. I'm very happy to be here today.
I know we've been talking for a while. You have an amazing background and you have started a consulting company to help large enterprises to sell better. But before we get into the details of it, I would love to have you introduce yourself to our audience. Take a couple of minutes.
Well, thank you for that. So my name is May Zhou. I'm the CEO of Wow Consulting Agency. So I just started this company last year after I exit of 22 years at Dell. And with my background in the high tech industry for over 26 years, this is where I feel like I'm able to add value to continue to support tech innovation and support the tech companies large and small. So yeah, super excited about this year and the things we can do from our agency side to support what's to come in the exciting world of technology.
Awesome. So before we move forward, kind of looking into the future, let's take a few minutes to talk about the last couple of decades that you're at Dell. What we call partner ecosystem today, we used to call it the channel.
Yeah.
It has evolved immensely. We were a company that sold into Dell that redistributed our product.
Mm-hmm.
Dell has been a customer of ours on and off. So it's an amazing organization. And you possibly had the macro view of what's going on in the global economy, on a local supply chain, on the demand side. Can you walk us a little bit through how things evolved, let's say, if you have to sum up the last couple of decades from a technology ecosystem perspective?
Well, I can tell you from my personal career at Dell, and I spent 22 years there, and I moved from different department. Really got to see the different aspect of the business and how partner plays in the every aspect of growing that business with Dell. So just to start out with a personal story, I joined Dell 23 years ago as a tech support person. If you ever got a Dell laptop and you're calling Dell on the phone, and I was one of those technicians that support the customer in troubleshooting. And this was before the apps and screen sharing. So we really had to walk the customer through step by step on how to troubleshooting. And that type of experience really gave me a sense of the voice of customer first, made me really experience the pain that customer was going through, struggling with technology, trying to figure out what to do, and then how do the technologists communicate with the customer of different skill level and teach them how to embrace technology. And then from there, I moved into different organizations from sales operations and really got to learn about different parts of the business, whether it's a small, medium business to large enterprise to healthcare and federal, and really understood that companies need partners. There's not one company, especially with the complexity of what we're facing today. Technology is getting more complex, and you need domain experts from different levels to really take a solution to market and line up with the customer who are really in need of those technology to solve their big business problems. So yeah, last 20 plus years, I really saw the change from big companies such as Dell about how to continue to embrace partners across all industry and how to shift that collaboration across different levels of partners and continue to build that ecosystems of partners of the different experts and different technology and capability to support our end user customers. So it come a long way, but this is what we have seen across the industry. And Dell Technologies certainly is doing that. Just recently, last year, they have launched a Partner First initiative, really trying to get more ownership to bring the partners in to help to drive that ownership and that solution capability.
So let's dial back a little bit. If you think about the first of the 20-year decade,
Mm-hmm.
at that time, Dell pretty much sold a lot of it direct, even though Dell Direct had bundled solutions from various vendors, and we used to be one of them. That they would catalog, they will promote as an accessory or as a
Yes.
add-on product into the infrastructure. To now, where Dell sells quite a bit through partner networks, supports through networks, system integrators, and etc. Can you tell us a little bit, like from a journey perspective, how did that evolve in phases, like bundling in solutions, which is kind of co-selling direct, and then co-selling through a set of partners? How did that evolution happen at Dell?
I think it happened because of the technology complexity changed. Back when Michael first created Dell, it was a simple product. It was just computers, right? PCs. And that was a very straightforward product offers that he was able to find efficiency in that direct business model. You look at now, Dell is positioned themselves as a solution provider, which is no longer just a product such as a PC. To create a solution takes a completely different approach. When you are many of those solution capability is by looking at use case and outcome first. So if I am a CEO of a bank, how do I my business challenge is how do I continue to grow my business while dealing with the fraud risk and security risk and managing branch offices with headquarter complexities and different type of data I have to run analysis and understand my customer base, right? The to be able to come up with a solution to really drive the business outcome for bank customer or a healthcare customer, it takes more than just product. It takes the software partnership, it takes services partnership, it takes the integration partnership and the services delivery partnership, and you can see that the just by itself, just to create a solution takes multiple partnership. And then on top of that, how do you actually take it to market? Is that through channel partner? Is that through alliances partner, consulting partner? So there's a lot more complexities that large companies are dealing with. And having that partner-centric approach is absolutely key for supporting our customer for delivery and implement solution.
So when you kind of think forward a little bit, let's say next 12, 24, 36 months horizon, right? We have this massive change that is happening. We're all using it called artificial intelligence, this agentic platform, right? So can you share a little bit about where you think this market is in this highly complex ecosystem when you have multiple types of entities working together, whether it's a system integrator, whether it's a referral partner, whether it's a tech provider, whether it's a regulator even, right? Because there's a lot of regulations are seeping in. What is your take on, let's say, if you pick one or two verticals, give us an example of an evolution that you're seeing that we haven't seen before.
I think that there's going to be a more vertical centralized solution teams, right? So how you solve a problem in healthcare is just a slightly different than how you solve a problem in, say, defense customer or retail customer. So to be able to tailor and customize solution for that industry, for those customer is key. There's no one size fits all anymore. And then be able to identify those domain experts and partnership in those industries are so important. So as we continue to move forward, you will see the technology companies such as Dell, even Intel, AMD, and NVIDIA, they will be able to provide that horizontal technology capability. But then you need the partners from the industry side to be able to insert and convert that technology capability to the use case and outcome based solution to really drive the true outcome of what the customers are looking for. So I think that kind of a dynamic of partner ecosystems is so critical. So and again, the key is to continue to build out the partner ecosystem for both horizontal and vertical domain experts and keep the communication open, because at the end of the day, we have to have a shared vision, we have to have a shared goal, and that has to be aligned with the partners across both domain expert and horizontal technology capability. But I think that the cadence around continued communication, embracing the collaboration across partnership is absolutely key.
So if I build on that, at Zinfi, we use a 7-step framework for partner operations. First is strategy. Where are you going to focus? Who are you going to go after? Who are you going to partner with? Then onboarding programs. How are you going to onboard them through various types of programs? Then enablement, co-market, co-sell. Then you got to pay them, incentivize. And then you essentially optimize and accelerate, right? So that's our framework. That's how our platform runs. So walk us through a little bit in your mind, let's say this acceleration that's happening because of AI. Where do you see the infusion happening and partner ecosystems changing? Is it at the infrastructure level, or is it at the application level? Is it at the data analytics level? Where do you see the greatest level of change from a partner ecosystem perspective, where the opportunities are, where both organizations like Dell and their partners can participate?
I think it depends on the market. The approach on the partner side is different, right? If you look at from a consumer based or more of a small, medium sized business, you are focused on automation, be able to really capture that volume and transaction. So the type of partners that you form or the process you form is to support that large volume transaction. And so those are those partners that focus on go to market and how to tackle those market is very different than the large enterprise business where you almost have to create the tiger team, so to say, right? Because the it require a lot more relationship building. It require a lot more deep understanding of that market and that customer's business. So I think there is, you're gonna see the diversity of type of partner ecosystem based on the markets that the technology companies are going after, and some of them will focus on one versus the other, whereas Dell and companies such as they go across, but you still have to have that, whether it's through channel distribution or industry domain experts, that small pockets of experts that specialize in different markets. So I see that is going to be the biggest change that we have to embrace. I can tell you today, of all the AI projects that has been done as a POC, as of 2024, 80% of those POC in the AI project do not make to the next stage. So part of the trend that I'm really hopeful is this year, as the AI technology continue to mature and then the partner ecosystem continue to mature, we're going to start to see the improvement of POC to production implementation. But to capture that success in implementation and execution, that's where the domain partner expert needs to come in.
That's a great way to frame it. So let's talk about, I think what I'm hearing from you is that when it comes to base computing level, whether it's an edge PC or a server or data center computing, whether it's connectivity, those solutions have been relatively solved, and we're looking at efficiency and scale and aggregation. And that's what's happening in the computing stack across the board, right? But when you move up, what I'm hearing from you from a business perspective, from an end user perspective, the focus is now on solutions, and then the solutions are very, very point specific, because most horizontal solutions, whether it's a CRM, whether it's order processing, whether any of these other nature, they have been solved. So the opportunity to eke out another 2, 3, 4% of productivity needs to be deep into a vertical application space.
Absolutely.
And that's where the partners have the domain expertise. So someone like a provider like Dell doesn't make sense to go build their direct force in every nook and cranny of the market and that's why partners can come and fill it. Is that what I'm kind of hearing from you?
Absolutely. I mean, even if when you're talking about AI software application partner that builds the next generation robotic automation for the different industry, how you both build that robotic automation for retail is very different than how you build for the government, right? Because the use case are different and the environments are different, and that may require different additional partners that come in to support that design. So even for those software application partner, even though the underlying software technology is the same, but how you actually design it for that for that successful implementation and execution, that domain expert needs to come in and guide them on how to design it. So I think that type of a partnership, you're going to see it is going to be more and more important as we move forward.
So, I mean, I guess what I'm hearing from you is that, like Jay McBain talks about, by 2030, we're going to have 1 million ISVs because every problem will have its own application.
Mhm.
But also, I'm hearing from you, possibly we'll have a 1 million partners in highly, highly specialized, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's logistics, whether it's any part of the supply chain. There'll be deep special, which is really exciting from a partner perspective. They just need to make that transition.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there are certain ISV that have already decided to only focus on certain domain. So you'll have certain software partners and certain ISVs that says, I'm only going to focus on healthcare. I'm only going to focus on military defense, and I'm only going to focus on retail because this is where my expertise will come in. But then you will also have horizontal software partners that say we can cover everything as a platform, but we still need that domain expert software application partner to come on top of my data platform to be able to help with execution.
Fantastic. So, talk to us a little bit now about Wow Agency, your agency. How do you engage? What kind of projects are you working on? What segments are you focused on? What are the solutions you are bringing to
Yeah.
market?
So, I mean, from our agency side, we're continuing to focus on the emerging tech, and based on the big trend of in the AI space, edge space, and as well as cybersecurity. Those are the big trend that will continue. And we support technology companies, large and small, and that has a fantastic technology and are trying to go to market faster. And our domain expert from our consulting side is to be able to be the matchmaker between those technology company and the company that can help them to take it to market, right? Especially when a tech company that already have the solution, but how do they scale? And you can't scale based on just yourself. You have to create that ecosystem partner. So we're here to help them in accelerate the time to market faster by helping them to create that ecosystem partner strategy and execution plan. And what probably makes the difference between our agency and many other go-to-market consulting agency is we're not just creating a plan for the company for the tech company. We actually roll up our sleeves and get into the trenches and help them with co-selling and co-marketing activity, and then help guide them from creating the use case based solution all the way to sales execution. So that is what gave me joy to be able to see how we can help the tech company to really get their product and their solution to the customer who really desperately need it.
Tell us a little bit about then projects without getting anything confidential. Talked about maybe one or two clients, the kind of specific project you're working on.
Yeah.
How do you start? How do you scope it? How do you help them to work with it? The life cycle of that project, a little more detail, please.
Each technology partner can be different. They're on a different phase of journey of maturity in terms of their go-to market. There are certain companies that I'm helping to help them actually build out go-to-market strategy, helping them to simplify the message. They have a great technology, but the message is complex. And how do I convert very complex technology capability into a simple message that can be delivered to the market. And others are focused on getting their brands out there, bring the awareness of the company and their capability. And then others are connecting them with the different sales teams and sales organizations and helping them with that co-selling and co-marketing activity. So those are my standard services on supporting those companies who really need ongoing support them to either launch their solution to the market or supporting them expanding their sales capability from partnership aspect. Another really interesting and exciting product that we're now rolling out this year is for the smaller startup companies, especially around AI. We're starting a cohort program that bring 4 or 6 ISV together and 6 weeks sales bootcamp type of program to guide them from designing end user solution offering to co-selling and co-marketing and helping them with the messaging and get them out of the door to identify opportunity. So that's more of a fast-paced sales bootcamp that we focus on, but it's really about helping them to develop their co-selling and co-marketing muscles. We have many technology companies that have great tech, but if it take them 45 minutes and a PhD level conversation to explain what they do, you already missed the boat. So how do we help those companies to simplify the message and to really tailor it to the type of market they want to go after, the type of problems they can solve for the customer based on the market they're really targeting. So those are kind of we're creating more support and services support to the emerging tech companies, large and small, to support them how to go to market in a more fast track, easier way, bring some wow factor to what they do.
So let's talk about a specific transaction, right? Let's talk about, maybe you can talk about a basket and a bundle that's in whether it's mid-size or highly complex, I'll leave it to you. Then how would you engage with the sales team on multi-vendor side to put that bundle together? What will be the process? How do they learn with you? What does it look like?
Yeah. Well, with my background in years of focus on OEM solution and design, I think to start with is you need to come up with that turnkey bundle offer, right? So if it's a software company that focus on, let's say, real-time analytics, right? The software company, as they're building this, how do you actually take it to market? If you are just selling a SaaS model, then you are leaving the question mark of how do I implement this to the customer? So if you want to ensure a faster way of delivering the solution to the customer that's already packaged up, that's where the engineering effort needs to start first, whether it's on-prem, cloud, or combination of a cloud and on-prem. Let's build out those packages. So instead of taking customer 3 to 6 months to figure out how to implement it, we already pre-package for the customer. So when it delivered to the customer side, it's a plug and play and ready to deploy. It takes the time to implement from month down to days. So that's the first thing, is that ground the solution based on who are the customers base that you want to design for, what problems you are trying to solve for them, and what is the pieces that needs to come in, whether it's software, hardware, services, wrap the whole thing around with a bow delivered to a customer. And this also makes that co-selling and co-marketing message a lot easier because you already solved those problems for the customer. So once we have the solution kind of designed down, either by use case, by market, by t-shirt sizing, then that's when we start identify the other co-selling partners, whether it's channel partners that focus on certain vertical market, or a large technology company like Dell Technology that focus across the board. Identify who are those partners that can support the co-selling effort. What is it in it for them? What's that win-win message look like for them, right? And then build out that co-selling muscle and build out that simplified co-marketing message by focus on outcome first, solution message. It's always about solving a business case, the business problem first, before you get down to the nitty gritty detail of how many nodes, how many, how much memory, because that level of next level down in the weeds conversation comes in after customers say, I need that solution. I was looking for it yesterday. Now you have it. So what's the next step?
So in that transaction, let's say as you're talking about figuring out the outcome, putting the bundle together, working with multiple vendors, multiple sales teams, how do the partner ecosystem play in solution delivery?
Well, I mean, that's where you have to line up who are the right partners for certain market, right? So I'll take federal business as an example. Federal business is a highly specialized market, and there are certain federal partners that specialize in certain agencies because they understand the agency's challenges. They understand what it will take in terms of a contract vehicle acquisition, right? All that different complexity of how to deliver a solution to those agencies. So identify who are those partners that's much needed to bring them into supporting that go-to-market is important. So, and that's where you will need multi-layered partner strategy. You need the partner that help you to build a solution. You need the partner that help you to integrate and package it up. And then you need a partner that help you to deliver the solution to the right agency using the right contract vehicle, and making sure that everything's aligned to the budget, right? So that is, at the end of the day, it's relationship building. It's about building that understand who they are, what they do, what they care about, and building that relationship. And the relationship in the large enterprise business is key. And you can't just you can't buy an AI solution by just going to someone's website. It takes efforts of sitting down with the customer, understand their problem, and design it according to customers' challenges. And that is all built on the foundation of trust and relationship.
So let's build upon that. You used two very important words that are dear to us. One is partner, second is relationship, because we provide a partner relationship management platform.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit from a platform provider perspective like us, right? What are the opportunities? What would someone like a large organization be looking for in a PRM platform when they're trying to automate and scale this efficiently, as you have said?
Yeah.
What are the core requirements you think in your mind?
I think one of the big challenge for large sales matrix companies like Dell is there's so many partners out there in so many different domain and experts. And how do they navigate through all that, right? Having a partner platform that can be a knowledge platform to understand who's who are the partners, what they do, what they specialize in, and what have they done from a past performance perspective. I think that's really, really important because if I'm sales rep for Wells Fargo and my customer today just say, hey, I'm facing this problem. I need you to help me understand who are the partners to bring in to do A, B, and C, and D. I do have a list of people I can call, but if the problem is beyond what I'm normally dealing with, then how do I do that? And who do I call? So having that knowledge base from a partner platform side to understand there's a whole bunch of other partners already vetted, already has the show their past performance in the experts, domain experts of where they have demonstrated. I think that is very, very important, and it will take all that research that just by calling my buddies and trying to identify, hey, can you make me an introduction to somebody else and then somebody else, and taking all that guesswork, and by going to having a centralized platform around all partner focused platform to see who are the right partners. And I think that's much needed. So I think that you guys are on the right track to continue to build that knowledge base around the partner side, and partner ecosystem will get more and more complex. That will also have give you the chance to continue to expand that knowledge base from a platform side.
So, what you just said, if I try to unpack that, maybe 3 or 4 layers, what I'm hearing is that as the ecosystem grows, as AI gets deployed, we're talking about mid to large enterprises, it has to be very, very solution specific.
Yes.
That's first layer.
Yeah.
Second is that solution very likely will be provided by multiple partners working together.
Yeah.
That means on the vendor and the brand side, there's a bundle or a set of bundles that are outcome based design. So when it comes to platform technologies, we need to have deep ability of personalization. So when a partner logs in, they're not inundated with 90 million of irrelevant stuff. They just get presented to based on their groups and profiles what they're working on, right? And then co-care beyond co-market, co-sell. And what I'm hearing is when Wells Fargo is calling, hey, I need help, during the co-care phase, it may be the same partners who delivered, or it may be different set of partners who taking care of the deployment. And then the lead partner has to be able to go find those expertise. Is that what I'm kind of hearing from you?
Absolutely. As well as you might need to implement AI agent for your
100%.
platform to help to guide the technology company that are coming into your platform and looking for that domain experts or solution experts.
Yeah, I mean, information was doubling every 18 months. Now AI has made it double every 18 minutes.
That's right.
So that explosion and deciphering that, you absolutely need an agentic approach to supporting and enabling the platform.
That's right. Yes.
So looking into 2025, what are you most excited about? Where you think the opportunities are going to be? Where are you going to focus?
Well, I think AI will continue to make leaps and bounds of what to come. And every few weeks, something new. I'm really super excited about the continuation of AI agent, multimodal capability, and then AI inferencing is going to be the thing. Training was the thing in 2024, but I think we're now are shifting from training to AI inferencing. And that's where we're going to start actually seeing outcome-based capability implementation. And so in robotic automation is going to change. It's going because of AI, and that's the brain of robotic automation. That's going to change the future. And so I think I'm super, super excited of what's to come this year from AI and edge, multi-cloud capability. But at the same time, how do we secure it? How do we govern it? Those are all burning questions for a lot of enterprise business owners. And how do I know my data is secure? And and another big problem is AI data center of the future. We can't be running data center the way we are running today. One ChatGPT query takes 2.9 hours, which is equivalent to one LED bulb running at 30 minutes. That's one query. And ChatGPT has over 200 million users. So imagine all those users are running query, hundreds of query a day. How many light bulbs are we using now? So the energy concern is absolutely super, super important, and how to tackle that energy problem. I am excited. I think because we have a big problem, therefore innovation will come with it. So all that are big problems, but I bet technology will come and deliver the result for us. And I'm excited to see what future is it will take us to.
That's super exciting. So, and I can tell you're excited. I can tell you love solving complex problems. So let's talk a little bit about you, May. You have had an amazing journey yourself. You grew to a very high leadership position at Dell and handled hundreds of millions of dollars, large, complex organization. Talk to us from a leadership journey wise. What made you successful through that entire journey?
I think I share with many other entrepreneurs who came to this country at a young age. I came to this country when I was a teenager with my parents, grew up and raised in China and moved here as a teenager. And one thing that my parents have always told me is never take things for granted. Work harder than everybody else, but and set your mind to do what you want to do and you can do it. So it's about taking calculated risk and then but always be able to be curious about what's next and be able to take on that challenge and say yes to experience, right? So I think that to me has always guided me, my curiosity around innovation and just my working attitude about be passionate about what you do. Wake up every morning, say, I want to do this. And then shout it and share that passion with people like you to form that the village of like-minded people to share that vision and drive that forward. And I think a lot of that is what grounded me of what I have been doing all those years in technology is to be able to share that passion with my peers and then be able to work hard and look at the big picture. What is that we're solving here? We're solving big problems and we're leveraging technology to help to support and make the world a better place.
That's fantastic. So I have one last personal kind of questions.
Mhm.
I have an 18-year-old daughter who is a senior, about to go to college. She's looking into all these chats and news that AI is going to displace all jobs, replace everything. So to someone like her, as a strong, successful woman business leader, what would be your advice to her as she looks into the future?
I love supporting female leaders and I love to mentor young female entrepreneurs. And I would say be herself, be herself, find something she's really passionate about, and then just go for it. And build out her network of others, whether it's mentors or peers, and who can share her passion, her vision, and be confident of what she can do. And I don't think gender define who you are. Your personality define who you are, and your passion define who you are. And go big, dream big. The world is her oyster.
That's amazing. So with that, May, I think we're coming to an end. Thank you very much. I'd love to have you back and catch up on where things are shaping up in the world of AI, driving outcome-based solutions, and what Wow Consulting is doing. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.